Once upon a time, there was a young man named Yogesh living in a town. That young man was very poor. He had no money. He could barely manage to get 2 meals of dal and bread a day. Despite searching day and night for any work, he was unable to find any. Then one day he shared all his problems with his wife. He told his wife that wherever he goes to look for work, everyone tells him that they don't need any workers. I am exhausted from looking for work. I don't understand how I will feed my family and raise my children. And this worry is eating me up day and night. Hearing this, his wife thought for a moment and said, "You only go to ask for work from a man just once. When he doesn't provide work, you don't even go back to him again. If you want to work with them, then you need to express sympathy. You need to gain their sympathy. You must show your poverty so that they understand your helplessness and give you work. So, don't be ashamed. Tell them about your difficulties, share your poverty, and in this way, you can find work." This thought settled in Yogesh's mind, and the next day he went back to the same merchant where he had asked for work the previous day. But this time he folded his hands and prayed to the merchant, requesting him to consider that he was very poor and in great need of work. The merchant hired him, and he began going to work there every day. He was happy that he got work, but he was getting paid less than others. The same work that others were doing was paying them more, while he was getting less. When he mentioned this to his boss, the boss replied, "Look, brother, you needed work. I gave you work. Instead of thanking me, you are being ungrateful. You are complaining to me. What kind of kindness is this?" Hearing this, Yogesh fell silent. There was some truth in it. The merchant had given him work according to his circumstances, and that's why he paid him according to that. But gradually he started sharing with his relatives and friends what kind of person his merchant was and how much salary he received. Time passed, and Yogesh continued to work hard. But now the situation was beginning to change. The merchant now took more work from Yogesh than from others, and paid him less. This matter troubled Yogesh a lot. He is working harder than others and earning less. This caused a very deep injury to his self-esteem. Gradually, he started to completely lose interest in her work. It is obvious that no one would want to stay in a place where they have to compromise their self-respect. Soon, he quit his job and sat idle at home. He had no money left to manage his household expenses. Therefore, he began seeking help from his relatives and friends. But his friend, in front of him, they regarded him as a subject of pity, offering him comfort. But behind his back, they mocked him. They would say, "How foolish he is. The merchant took so much work from him and didn't even pay him. If we give him money, will he be able to return our money tomorrow? His condition is such that he has no work at all. Where will he bring the money from?" Because of this, Yogesh's condition worsened day by day. He had started to live in stress day and night. The same friends and relatives who pretended to be on his side were now seeing him as a subject of pity. They were feeling pity for him. Everyone would come and give him a lot of knowledge, but no one offered any real help. This often happens. There are many who provide knowledge, but how many are there who help by holding your finger and guiding you forward? One day, he found out that a very knowledgeable monk had come to the neighboring village. Yogesh was so stressed that he couldn't see any way out. That is why, knowingly or unknowingly, he reaches the Buddhist monk. Upon reaching there, he fell at their feet and began to weep. Crying, he told them about his entire situation, explaining how his boss had taken advantage of him and how his relatives treated him. After listening to everything, many monks silenced him and said, "All these problems have arisen due to your lack of wisdom and foolishness. If you had wisdom, none of these problems would have troubled your mind. But due to your foolishness, you have laid thorns in your own path. Today, I am telling you 7 things that you should never share with anyone. And by following these, you can certainly keep away the sorrows that arise from the world and the reasons that grow within you. The first thing you should never tell anyone is your compulsion. Never pretend to be in a difficult situation to become an object of pity. and seek help from others. They may help you today out of pity for your helplessness, but tomorrow that person will not hesitate to take advantage of you. And even if they don't take advantage, they will never miss a chance to mock you in front of others. Therefore, never pretend to be in a difficult situation. If there are 2 dry breads at home, eat them and go to sleep, but others should not even get a hint of it. Just think for yourself. What is the purpose of stating your helplessness? A person either wants sympathy from others or seeks financial help. But if you look at both situations, the other person will not shy away from taking advantage of you. And even if they do not take advantage of it, in their eyes, they will definitely consider you a fool, and they will surely make fun of you in front of others. Therefore, never tell anyone about your helplessness. The second thing that should never be told is about your weaknesses. Consider the impact of sharing your past mistakes with someone else, and think about the strategies for the future. Those mistakes cannot be rectified. Clearly, what is the purpose of telling them? You are revealing your dark side to the world, exposing your mistakes to others, which will diminish your character in their eyes, and they will always see you through that lens in the future. Therefore, do not let your character manifest in anyone's eyes. And think about how you are just boasting about your future strategies to others who are not part of your work. What's the point of bragging about your future strategies to them? They won't help you, but can certainly become an obstacle in your future strategies. Now, consider the third thing you should never share: matters of your home. Whatever conversations happen within our home, with our parents, our spouse, or our children, should remain within the family. If you publicize these matters, it gives others a chance to intrude into your home, and they will never miss an opportunity to take advantage of it. They will try to separate your family members from you. This often happens. We see in society that to reduce family disputes, we tell our neighbors and other relatives about our conflicts, but this would never have helped you. Rather, your family fights and disputes would have increased even more, and they will obviously continue to escalate. If you share your parents' issues with others, they will feel bad that their child is discussing their matters with others without telling them. Therefore, do not share your family matters and your fights and quarrels with anyone. The next point I'm going to share, which should not be told to anyone, may sound very strange when you hear it, but I will also provide you with a reasoning for its truth. I say that you should never disclose your income. What could be the reason behind not disclosing your income? Consider this. If you share your income with your friends, when they are in need, they will remember only you, because they know that if your income is good, you are the one who can help them. And that's why more people will ask you for help. And when you don't help them, they will think that this person has money, can help me, but he is not helping. And that's why your income can be a cause of conflict between you and your friends. If there is low income, people will mock. And if there is high income, they will seek assistance, so there is no purpose in disclosing your income. The next thing I want to tell you is to remember it well and not share it with anyone. Your weaknesses and your strengths. Often, a person does not even realize what their weaknesses or strengths are. But if you know your weaknesses and strengths, first of all, you are a very wise person. And secondly, you should not share these things with anyone, because if others find out your weaknesses, they will take advantage of them. And if your strengths are known, that very strength can become your weakness because the other person will know about it and will look for its flaws. You shouldn't even tell your wife or husband about your weaknesses and strengths, because then you will always have to live under their control at home. The next thing you should never disclose is your friends and your enemies. If you talk about your friends to others, they can create a closeness with your friends and lead you to be deceived. Some people might try to distance your close friends from you. Often, an ordinary person does not behave this way. However, your enemies may attempt to do so, and it is crucial that no one becomes aware of your enemies. This is because a friend today could become an enemy tomorrow, and they might collaborate with your enemies to defeat you and betray you. Therefore, Never tell even your closest friends about your enemies. The next and last thing I want to say is that when you give charity, don't tell anyone about it. Otherwise, your charity becomes pointless, useless. When you brag about your charity, you are saying how great a donor I am, and this will build arrogance within you. Therefore, it's much better to give charity secretly. It's much more fruitful. When your left hand is giving, the right hand shouldn't even know that the left hand is giving. These 7 things that the Buddhist monk told Yogesh contain all the principles of the world. By following these things, you can create happiness and peace in your home and eliminate conflicts forever.